What's up, Make Movers? Hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk to you about something I think is very important, and I see it a lot, and it's dealing with time management. I'm blessed to be in a lot of conversations with individuals and have meetings with individuals, and I always find it interesting when people schedule a meeting with you and they set the time and the location, and you arrive early and you are there, and then when they finally show up, whether it's right at the time they've allotted or a little bit after, the opening statement is always an apology. Please forgive me for being late. And I'm a very forgiving person, and so usually I brush it off. But I want to say to you that that opening statement speaks volumes about you, about your leadership, but also about your respect for the other person. You understand that when you are late, you're telling someone else that your time and your agenda is more important than theirs. Now, don't get me wrong, unforeseen circumstances happen. You can get yourself caught up behind a traffic accident or something in that nature. But when you're just known for being late because you don't think punctuality is important, you're known for being late because you wait to the very last minute to leave where you were to get to where you need to be, those send messages about you. There are some people who are kings and queens of procrastination. They just wait until the very last minute, very last day to do anything. And that carries over into other factors of life. You need to understand that that method and that madness is frustrating to so many people. If it's our first time interacting with each other, I may or may not have a definition of you because of that opening. It gives me a bad taste, but depending upon how the conversation progresses, I'll typically move on from it. But if you are known and your reputation precedes you in that you are a person who's never punctual but procrastinate a lot, you're a person that when you do show up late, you're also always disorganized, it sends a message about you. And anyone who's serious about making moves is not going to want to engage with you in partnership, engage with you in any collaborative effort because they don't know if you're going to be in the right place at the right time. Think about this. If you have an appointment with someone at 10 a.m. and they do appointments every 30 minutes and you show up 10 minutes late, your time with that person is now 20 minutes. You don't have the right to assume that he or she should give you 10 additional minutes on the back end. No. If they do that, you bump into their 10:30 appointment. Time management is important because you have to respect the fact that other people have lives as well, and they should not have to adjust their calendars to accommodate you. Let me give you a real scenario. Where I go get my hair cut, my barber does haircut appointments in 30-minute increments. A previous Saturday, I was sitting in the chair, and his next appointment called to ask him to remind him when his time his appointment was, and he told him the time. And at the time that he told him, there was like 15 minutes to go before that appointment time was going to be ready. The person called and said, "Okay, I'll be there." Now this person I know, and this person does not live close to where this shop is. The interesting thing about it is there is no way that person, unless they are literally already en route, will make it in 15 minutes. Now, what ends up happening is that that person is going to arrive late. And the 10 o'clock appointment, which usually arrives early but definitely on time, will now have his or her schedule change because the person who showed up late for the 9:30 appointment now is in the chair at the time the 10 o'clock appointment person shows up for their appointment. So now the barber has to either have the person currently in the chair get out because they're late or beg forgiveness of the 10 o'clock appointee who is on time. That's confusing. Here's my point. When you don't honor the schedule and you make it upon yourself that your agenda, your timing is more important than anybody else's, you affect more than just one person. Not only is the barber affected, but his next appointment is affected. Not only is the next appointment affected, whomever the next appointment was planning on meeting after that 10 o'clock appointment is affected because things are now being pushed back because one person thought that their schedule, their agenda was more important than anybody else. If you think about it from a leadership perspective, think about it from a manager's perspective. You cannot assume that a person is going to want to follow you consistently when you always exemplify a behavior that you're way more important than anybody else. If you schedule a meeting for 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or whatever time you schedule it for, and everybody on your team is in the room, in their seats, prepared for the meeting, and you show up 15 minutes late with no real reason why you're late, you've sent a message that my time is more important than your time, and you need to sit there and wait quietly, patiently, with no complaining until I arrive. Shame on you. That's not how you make moves. How you make moves is that if you schedule a meeting with somebody at 10 o'clock, you ought to be there when they arrive because you initiated the request to have the meeting. If you really want to be taken seriously, you have to make sure that not only are you on time or earlier than the scheduled time, that when you do start having the meeting, you are prepared. You have your stuff in order. You don't seem like you're throwing things together, but you've actually made sure that you have put everything in proper order. Time management is one of the things that I see regularly from individuals, people that I hold in high regard, people who are great at what they do, but it sends a message to other individuals that you cannot be trusted with serious business. I personally would never go into business with anyone when I know how that they don't take things seriously. If you were at the table preparing to negotiate a major deal and you have a 50-50 partnership with someone and you are there but your partner isn't there and you need that person to be there to help you sign paperwork, the person you're trying to buy from or negotiate with, whoever it may be, they're going to lose the interest in this partnership because one person has given the message that they are way more important than everyone else. So why would I enter into business with you? That one act can have a resounding effect. So here's my challenge for you. My challenge for you is, if you know you're not a morning person, but meetings happen in the morning, you need to try to set your alarm early enough where you can hit the snooze button for a few times. That's fine, but you need to get on your game, because people are not going to want to adapt their schedules to accommodate yours. You have to understand that we're in grown man business and grown woman business. You can't say that you are a boss, but you ain't making boss moves. You got to understand this. My son, who trains very hard, I always tell my son that you need to do in the dark what most people won't do in the light. When your friends wake up to train, every time they wake up, you've already had 2 hours of aggressive training taking place. So when they're just getting started, you're done and you're back in the recovery mode. Why? Because you have your goals, you have your aspirations, you have your focus in front of you, and you realize, I need to put this work in. That's what grinding is. Grinding is not just a 5-letter word. Grinding is effort. It is action. It is momentum. It is motivation. It is a commitment that you must have. And you need to understand that it's not somebody else's responsibility to help you get there. You got to put the work in. So today, or whenever you're watching this video, I want to challenge you that you need to start taking seriously how you manage time, because you may be missing out on God-ordained opportunities, maybe missing out on favor upon your life and your opportunity because people don't take you seriously. And you can't get mad at them, and everybody's not hating on you. You have to look at, what have you produced? What have you displayed? What examples have you given? Because most people are not hating on you. They just watch you up close or from a distance and realize you're not serious about your craft. Serious about your craft. Don't schedule a meeting at a time that you know is not conducive to your schedule. Why would you schedule a meeting for 8 o'clock in the morning for a breakfast if you know you don't get up early in the morning? That doesn't make sense. You ought to be doing lunches or dinners because you know you can make it there. I'm an early riser, so I'll do early morning coffee, tea, breakfast because I'm an early guy. And I usually come in very fresh and focused and right at it. That's what I do, and I enjoy doing that. But you need to understand the lane that you operate in and where is your greatest strength by way of productivity. If your mind is fresh early in the morning, then conduct your business early in the morning. If you need 3 cups of coffee before you can do anything, you're not a morning person to be doing morning meetings. But let me say this to you. If you want to have a meeting with serious individuals who are going to take you seriously, but like also can invest in you financially, you need to be able to comply with their instructions. And most of those individuals want early meetings. You know why? Because they have other things on their schedule they need to do for the rest of the day. And so they tell you, meet me at 7:30 in the morning at this restaurant for breakfast. You need to work out a way that you can get to bed the night before and get up that next morning and be fresh for that meeting, because no real boss wants to hear you say, I'm not a morning person. What you just said to them is that you can't be trusted with leadership, ownership, management, because you can't produce at a high level in the morning. That's what it is. How are you managing your time? What are you doing to make sure that you are not taking advantage of somebody else's time, messing up their calendar because you don't have your stuff in order? That's not boss moves. That's petty. And I'm going to say this to you. Make moves, not announcements, requires you to be serious about the movements that you are making. God bless.